Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So I'm trying to do a YouTube video every other day. And that wasn't supposed to be this way, but I'm doing one today, and I'm trying to upload a short with it. I'm going to try to do that kind of tandem, or whatever it is. Season predictions. I'm still working on them. I got through like the kind of my thoughts about it. I just need to go through like the record stuff, but. I kind of want to piggyback on what I talked about earlier. It's I don't think anybody's stock has improved based on 9 passes or 1 preseason drive than Daniel Jones. Like, people were thinking, oh, he's just a mid quarterback. Now, there are a lot of quarterbacks that impressed during the preseason, like Sam Howell, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud has struggled a little bit, but even you can say some good things about Anthony Richardson showing flashes. It's mainly, I think the preseason is mainly about just what the good in guys are. You don't really see the negatives that much. You just want to be optimistic. So that's overall what you kind of see. You see like the brighter things in some guys. You're not really going to trash anybody during the preseason. You just kind of look on the positive side, but then have the caveat, okay, who are they actually playing against? Because a lot of teams just don't play their overall starters. And it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about an actual video to see how Aaron Rodgers does against the Giants. I'm curious to see if we play our actual starters and how that looks, because that should be fun. I think Aaron Rodgers is really going to play a drive, but I'm very interested, to see how that all works out. Now, I'm going to have like a full roster prediction. I think I'll do it in this video, but I kind of want to make the point that like Daniel Jones, you have Greg Jennings that actually moved him above Trevor Lawrence in his rankings. I think he has him at 8th, but he's in that category where like Kirk Cousins, Dak tier, where if you're a Vikings fan, you'll say Kirk Cousins better. If you're a Cowboys fan, that's at least optimistic. You get some miserable fans. Some teams, they'll say Dak Prescott is better. But overall, Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. And I've heard people making comparisons to Patrick Mahomes, and he's also Alex Smith, according to like Colin Cowherd and John Middlecoff. Like that's what they kind of think. So he's like a bunch of quarterbacks wrapped all in one. I have a season projection on him. I was going to do like a full, video on it of each person, but I could see Daniel Jones. I think it's going to be very similar to what I had last year. I didn't look what I did last year, but I have 3,800 yards, another about 500 to 600 rushing, so about 4,500 total yards, 30 touchdowns in total when it comes from passing and rushing. I think he's going to have 24 passing, around 6 rushing. He had 7 last year and 15 or 6 rushing last year. Anyway, just a bump up in both. I think he's going to have a few more interceptions at 9. He needs to throw the ball a little bit more, and especially when you're throwing it deep to Jalen Hyatt, I think there's going to be some miscommunication issues and, tip ball by Darren Waller. This offense is going to be a little bit more pass happy, and what happens there is a bunch of balls get tipped, and I hope that just doesn't ruin his confidence. But that's how I kind of see his season going. Just in a nutshell, I don't think there's any more stats. Like completion percentage, I guess 67%, maybe at what he did last year. I think he's going to be a better player, but just how deep he's throwing it, I don't think we're going to see like an air raid difference. But I think we're going to push the ball down a little bit more, and I think that's the feel of a lot of Giants fans. But kind of going back to what Colin Cowherd said, like he would just hate on Daniel Jones because his point was he was comparing him to Jake Locker, who had like a 55% completion percentage. And a bunch of quarterbacks, even Baker Mayfield, they needed the support. And Baker Mayfield had the support in the end of that 2021 season, especially when the Giants played them. Baker Mayfield was rolling. He had the support. Everything was going along with him. Daniel Jones, I'm not sure how much he can do out of structure, but in structure, man, he can get the ball rolling. He can do well. And the good thing is we don't have to worry about, it's not like a quarterback that can get injured and all of a sudden, the rest of the career is, after, oh, man, whatever. There's always that thought in the back of your head, what if he gets injured? Brian Daboll's not getting injured. Brian Daboll's not going anywhere. Even Wick Martindale, he's not going anywhere. And we'll have the plurality of offensive coaches that will come here. So Daniel Jones will have the job as long as he's smart, tough, dependable, which apparently a guy like Colin Cowherd likes. So I want to mention a little bit things roster-wise. I think that's all I want to mention about that subject. I want to mention a few things roster-wise. I think that a surprise cut could be Matt Breida. Now, I like Matt Breida. He's one of the more underrated players on the Giants, but I think there's some people as well. The Brett Coleman's sidekick, I forget his name, but he had him as the number 1 running back I'm pretty sure I'm right, as the number 1 running back in last year's draft class. And Jashaun Corbin went undrafted. So there are a bunch of people that are high in Jashaun Corbin. I think he should make a roster spot. And I honestly, if all's perfect, Eric Gray, I don't think he's him being long-term, but he's going to be on the roster. He's going to be a punt returner. He's going to be serviceable, but probably cut in like 3 years or something. So if all was right, I'd have Breida, Barkley, and Corbin. But I think they're going to have 4 of them, and Jashaun Corbin. I'm not sure how much of a special teams player he is, but he'll play at least some special teams. And then I do think we're going to get either somebody from the slot or edge off waivers, or Romeo Okwara. I think our cornerback room is pretty much set, and safety room is pretty much set. Javarius Owens, I think, is going to be a practice squad player. We're going to have, obviously, McKinney, Belton, Pinnock as our 3 guys. I do think we keep Bobby McCain and Nick McLeod. And then our cornerbacks, we already cut Rodarius Williams, with him and his brother were cut on the same day, which is kind of funny. Kind of messed up, too. Imagine that. The over-under, how many Williams brothers would be cut today with the odds. Anyway, probably not that high, but it would be interesting, like a Vegas. I don't know what I'm saying. But, the cornerback room, Hawkins, Banks, the classic guys. And it would be interesting if we keep Darnay. I can see him just as a cut. It's been very puzzling to see how we've been using him from what I'm hearing in camp. Like, one day he's on the 3rd team, now he's on the 1st team. It looks like they're trying to move Flott to the outside, and I don't think they see Adoree Jackson as long-term a part of this team. I think this is going to be his last year on the roster from what it seems like, but I like Adoree Jackson. Kind of like he's your ideal CB2 on a really good team, but you can make way with him if there's another guy of his talent in the cornerback room as a CB1. Banks gets cut. I love Banks' competitiveness, like him apparently going up against Waller in practice. He's like, he wants that challenge. So Banks is overall feisty. I think he's going to be a good corner in this league from what it looks like. And I'm trying to think what else. I think Beasley makes this roster. He's going to be like a this year only type of guy. And then Wandale, obviously, and Bryce Ford-Wheaton's had some interesting. I don't see it with Bryce Ford-Wheaton, especially with preseason, but it's like the first game you haven't played in a while. Sometimes there's a little bit of rust you need to knock off. It's going to be interesting to see how that shapes out. I don't have an amazing take, but it looks like Jamison Crowder's on the outside looking in. He'll probably find himself some other way. He was more of a training camp body, and that'd be interesting. But I see Campbell and Beasley as more of like a year solution than Wandale. He looked good in his in his whatever it was training camp year. But and that's pretty much it with the takes that I have. You can go offensive line. I'm just curious. I haven't really been looking that much. I think Parrott has been knocked too much. I think his stance, his stance is just weird. I don't know how to better explain it, but I think he's been playing pretty well. I think he makes it. People have been shitting on him, I think, a little bit too much. And then Shane Lemieux. What about him? Justin Panic had him on his thing. I'm more of a Devery Hamilton guy. I saw him, I saw him, was it 2021 with Joe Judge? Was he on the team then? I think he was, but a little bit of hype there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm on the way to class. So yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Bye.